Welcome to CEC lectures. Myself, Dr. Preeti Jagwani. I am from Department of Computer Science, Aryabhat College, University of Delhi. So presently, as you all are aware, that we are, learning programming in Java, and in our previous lectures, we have started the concept of constructor. So for today's lecture, our agenda is we will be having a quick recap of constructor in order to kind of gel you up in the lecture, and then I'll proceed with the other types of constructors. So when we talk about constructor, that is a very important topic, in the we can say object-oriented paradigm programming. Basically, what actually is constructor is, it is actually a method, or we can say syntactically it is similar to a method having the same name as that of the class in which it is residing, with no return type, and it initializes the objects immediately upon the creation. So immediately upon the creation, I can say before the new operator completes. So there is a new operator which we are using while the time of object creation. So it is called automatically, a constructor is called automatically, and called immediately after the object is created before the new operator completes. And some I have told you that it is not having any return type, not even void, because the implicit return type of the class constructor, any constructor, is the class type itself. Coming to usage, why we use constructor is, it's for initialization of the internal state of an object, so that we can have a, kind of a ready object in the sense of fully initialized usable object, usable object immediately we have just after the creation. Some restrictions which we have not studied till yet on the constructor are: a constructor cannot be abstract. So as it is a method, it cannot be abstract, it cannot be final, it cannot be synchronized, and it cannot be static. So the four keywords here: abstract, final, synchronized, and static. And I am sure you must be familiar with the two keywords. One is abstract and another one is the static. Another two keywords which are final and synchronized are will be explained in our upcoming lectures. But please remember that a constructor cannot be abstract, cannot be final, cannot be synchronized, and cannot be static. We cannot override a constructor also. Now what is overriding, that in our upcoming lectures. And your constructor is definitely going to occupy some space in memory when this constructor is called. So as I have told you, that it is basically used to assign values to the class variables at the time of object creation. So now this task can either be explicitly done by the programmer, or or Java can do it, Java system can do it itself with the help of default constructor. That means if a particular programmer is not going to supply any constructor within the program, which we have also done in our earlier programs, we have not specifically or we have not explicitly specified any of the constructor. So as it was not supplied by the programmer, the Java system itself is going to introduce a default constructor into it. So either the constructor can be explicitly inserted, or can be explicitly written by the programmer, or if not, then Java system is going to give the programmer default constructor. Now when we say that syntactically a constructor is actually similar to methods, so are there any differences between the constructor and the method? So yes, three type of primarily differences on the basis of name, on the basis of return type, and on the basis of calling frequency. So as far as name is concerned, constructor is having the same name as that of the class, while methods will having different names, and method will not have the name as similar to that of the class, but constructor compulsorily have to have the name as that of the class. Then considering the second parameter, which is return type Java constructor are or any constructors for that matter, they don't have any return type, not even void. while our methods will be having return type. If there is no return type with for a method, then in that situation a method return type will be specified as void. So even if no return type is there, the method will have void as its return type, which specifies nothing. But constructor is not supposed to have any return type, not even void. As far as calling frequency is concerned, your Java constructors or constructors are basically called once at the time of creation of the object. While this is not a restriction with the methods, other normal methods of the Java, you can call them as many times as you want, but constructors will be called only once, and that too at the time of creation. Now please recall our previous program, which was about supplying a constructor in a box program, and we have created two instances. One instance was mybox1 and another instance was mybox2, and both the boxes were having same dimension. Please recall that that was width is equals to 10, height is equals to 10, then depth is equals to 10. Now, let's say we are creating 4 objects of box class, then it is desirable to have different versions in the terms of class variables. That means all the boxes will be having some different dimensions. So the program which we have seen in our previous lecture was providing the same dimension to all the boxes, because one particular constructor was used to we can say initialize all the objects. But if we want different dimensions for different objects, then the solution says that we need to specify the dimensions of the box with the help of parameters. So that means whenever the object is being initialized or box object is being initialized, a box object is being created, we want different dimensions. So that means we need to supply some parameters to the constructor, or we can simply say that we need to go with the parameterized constructor. So this is our kind of upcoming agenda for today, that is parameterized constructor. So till this point whatever we have seen is coming under the category of default constructor. So considering the type of constructor, I can say we have seen the default constructor, while parameterized constructor we are going to see just now. So how are we going to supply parameters into the constructor? That is given on the screen highlighted in yellow. So let us go through this program code snippet in a complete manner. So there is a class box, and I'm sure that by this time you are kind of very familiar and very comfortable with this particular example, because this is the example which we have started or which we have taken since our first class program, and we are kind of giving modifications or doing some modifications into all these. So there is a class box, then the 3 parameters width, height, depth, all of type double, and previously we have given a default constructor which was box and having nothing in the parameter list. But here if you can observe that there is a parameter list, so 3 parameters W, H and D, and all are of type double. Because why double? Because these are the value of W, the value of H and the value of D will be assigned into the instance variables, which are width, height and depth, and that is what your constructor is doing here. That is the value of W is assigned to width, the value of H is given to height, and the value of depth is given to D. So what will happen is, whenever we are going to create an object, whatever dimensions we are going to give here within the parameter of the constructor, those the dimensions will be assigned to the width, height and depth of that particular object. How it is going to happen, we will just see in some moments. And then the next we can say method, which is a common method here, is a volume method, which is returning a type double, and this is nothing but the multiplication of width, height and depth. So this is, we have defined the class box with 3 instance variable, 1 parameterized constructor and 1 normal, I can say, method, or we can say an instance method. Now this class box will be, used in creation of new objects of this particular class within our program, which is, which is having our, main function. So here we have, let's say we are going to name that as class box demo 7, and we have main function public static void main here. And now I want to declare 2 different objects, one with a dimension 10, 20, 15 and another one with a dimension 3, 6, 9. So what I have done, box, my box 1, that is the name of the first instance, is equals to new box, and when I am saying new box and then the something in parenthesis, that means here is a call to that particular constructor, and using that constructor an object of the, kind of name my box 1 is created, and whatever the dimensions of that my box 1 are 10, 20 and 15. Similarly, box my box 2 is equals to new box and some dimensions 3, 6, 9. So actually what is happening here on this particular line, when I am going to say box my box 1 is equals to new box 10, 20, 15, this is going to give a call to the constructor. And what type of constructor I am talking about? The parameterized constructor. So the parameterized constructor highlighted here in, the yellow shade will be called, and the value 10 will be given to W, the value 20 will be given to H and the value 15 will be given to D, and these values W, H and D of the parameters of the constructor box will be given to width, height and depth. So essentially what is happening, my box 1 is an, instance of the class box which is being created. Now it is having 3 of its variables, which are width, height and depth, and the value of those variables is 10, 20 and 15. Similarly, on the next line, when I am saying box my box 2 is equals to new box 369, that means another instance of box variable or sorry, of box class is going to be created, which is my box 2, and the dimensions which are width, height and depth of my box 2 are 3, 6 and 9. And then we have, just taken one particular variable which is the named as VOL, and the idea of this variable, as you all are aware, that is to store the we can say the result of the volume method. So VOL is equals to my box 1 dot volume, that means the method volume which we have just defined below the constructor will be called, and whatever it is, whatever the results of this particular volume function will be stored in VOL. That VOL is going to be printed. Then within the same variable we are taking the volume of the second box, which is my box 2 dot volume, and it is again printing it value. So here what is the I can say bottom line behind the behind this particular program is, this is having 2 instances which are created with the help of obviously constructor, but not only constructor but the parameterized constructor, and because of this, this my box 1 and my box 2 are initialized with kind of we can say different parameters. Now apart from this parameterized constructor, we are having other type of constructor also. We will be taking them soon in our upcoming slides, but before going to that we need to cover one particular important concept, which is about a keyword, and the name of this keyword is name of the keyword is this, which is THIS. So this is actually a keyword here. Why this keyword is used is when we need to refer sometimes a method will need to refer to the object that invoked it. So you all are aware that methods will be invoked with the help of objects, and if a particular method which is being invoked need to refer the object which has invoked it, the keyword is this, and this can be used inside any method to refer to the current object. How it is working or how it is being implemented, I will be sharing with the help of an example here. And basically the keyword this is actually a reference to the object on which the method is actually invoked. So we have just seen just one particular code snippet we have seen here, which was about a parameterized constructor. Another version of that parameterized constructor which will be doing the same thing as that of the previous is shown on the screen, which says box double W double H and double D. I am sure you are all are comfortable with this. But within the body, the earlier what we have written was width is equals to W, height is equals to H and depth is equals to D. That means the value of the parameters which are being supplied from outside are going to be stored in the width, height and depth. In the width, height and depth of whom? In the width, height and depth of the object which is we can say invoking this, which is being initialized or which is being created with the help of this box. So here we have written this dot width, this dot height, this dot depth. So the word the keyword this is being used here, and it actually operates exactly like the earlier version. So I can say yes, the use of the keyword this here in this example is actually a redundant thing. So whatever this dot width is equals to W is doing, width is equals to W will be doing the same thing. In this particular example, yes, it is redundant, but it is perfectly correct, and inside the constructor box this will always refer to the invoking object. But so if this is the we can say redundant kind of use, then why are we using this keyword? So this keyword is sometimes used in some of the situations. Let us see. So when a local variable has the same name as that of the instance variable, local variable is going to hide the instance variable. That means it will we can say overpower the instance variable, and that is why we have not used width, height and depth as the names of the parameter. We have used W, we have used H and we have used D. So if I am going to use width, height and depth, so within the body of the constructor what I will write will be width is equals to width, height is equals to height and depth is equals to depth. Now this will create a I can say a confusion, and this is also going to hide the instance variable. If we want to use width, height and depth for the parameter names, we need to use the keyword this to access the instance variable by the same name. So here you can see this. So box double width, double height and double depth. So the names of the parameters are actually same as that of the I can say instance variables. Instance variables are also named as width, height and depth, and so is the parameters here. So here if we are not going to use the word the keyword this will create a confusion, and this will create we can say this will generate a mess here. So we will say this dot width equals to width, this dot height equals to height and this dot depth equals to depth. What does it mean? The width which is written on the right hand side of the initialization or equals to operator is referring to the parameter. Whatever parameter is being supplied, that will be, or value of that parameter will be stored into the width instance variable of the object which is invoking or which is being invoked which is invoking this constructor. So this dot width, so for example I am using it for, let us say, my box 1. So this dot width will refer to the width of my box 1, or if I am using it with my box 2, then this dot width will refer to the my box 2 object or width of my box 2 object. So here I can say the use of this keyword here is to resolve the namespace collision in the scenarios when we are having the parameter names or the local variable names same as that of the instance variable name. So there can arise a namespace collision. So in order to resolve or in order to avoid that namespace collision, we will be using this with the instance variables. So the the variable which is qualified with the usage of this will be the instance variable, and the variable which is not having this keyword with it will be the I can say the parameter or the local variable. So yes, here till this point, whatever we have seen was, in our previous lectures we have started with constructor. Then in this lecture we have started with the quick recap of constructor. Then we have seen whatever is the usage of the parameterized constructor, and that we have also seen with the help of a qualified example. Then we have started with the keyword this, which we are going to use in many of these situations, and we have understood the whole concept of this keyword. And now in our upcoming lectures we will be looking into more a variety, more flavors, or more type of constructor which are actually copy constructors, and then we will be using other like overloaded constructors and so on and so forth. So that is for the upcoming lectures. Here is a list of references which is being used for the preparation of lecture. Hope you have enjoyed this lecture. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Goodbye.